Hey, welcome back to Sullivan's Garage. Today on this episode we got this 65 Ford Thunderbird here that I've been working on for way too long. Got the body work finally complete on, and now it's finally ready for a final sand and start painting the jambs under the hood, engine bay, under the trunk and stuff like that first. So this is going to be a a multi-part series here. Slowly I'm starting to paint each section at a time, and eventually I'll get around to we'll paint the outside of it. So stay tuned and we'll see how it goes. Alright, well, I'll do a quick walk around here. There ain't much to see on this thing. It's just, bare body shell and primer, and got it fairly straight here, as you can tell. Can't really tell probably on the camera, but got it best I can. I've been working on this thing for a while now, and it's been put on the back burner quite a bit, but, finally trying to get this thing going. Like I said, we'll start on the jambs, move on to another section until we get all that done, and we'll start working on the rest of it. But I already got the top painted on this thing white. I just sprayed a white single stage on it because it's got a vinyl top on there, just something on there, keep it from rusting and stuff at the top. But here it is. Ain't much to see, like I said, so let's get started on it. Alright, well, I think the first thing I'm going to do on this project of painting this thing is, guess I'll start on the door jambs first, and then work my way around, just kind of do whatever I feel like doing at the time. For right now, I'm going to get these fenders off, and then get the doors off, so let's do that. Alright, so I'm going to start taking these bolts out of this fender here, do the same thing on that side, but before I do, I'm going to take a permanent marker here, and I'm going to mark around a couple of these bolts here, because I'm going to use these fenders again to mock up whenever I put it back together to paint the outside, and I want to make sure this is exactly where they go, because I'll paint the jam part of the fender whenever I actually paint the outside of the car with the hood off. So I'll mark that one, and I'll probably do one back here if I can get under here with the hood being here. But we'll get these marked, do the other side, and we'll start taking the fenders off. Alright, let's start taking all these bolts out. First fender off. Alright, now I got the other side off. Right now we got the fenders off there, as you can see, starting to look bare again, and I gotta get these hinges off here. I still gotta sandblast those before I'll probably bolt them back on and paint them with the car. I still need a mark around, so I know where they go and they put it back on. But there's a bunch of grit and stuff down in here from sanding, and I did some small amounts of sandblasting in some areas on this thing, so let's blow all that out of there. Alright, I'm going to take this marker here. I'm going to mark around these here so I know kind of where it was at. And like I said, I'll probably paint this with the hinge on there. This just helps out a whole lot easier when you're mocking stuff back up. You don't want to be trying to line something up whenever the paint's all fresh and painted. That's no fun because you're going to end up scratching it. So there's this side. And I've already marked it here on the door, as you can see, but I've done some adjustments since, so let's make a new mark. So let's put it there. One up top. And we'll do one down here too. Alright, same thing over here, just a quick mark. And mark. And another mark. and a mark. And we'll do the same thing here. These have been marked like I was saying, but or just make sure it lines back up. I want to be redoing all this. Alright, here's my plan to take these doors off since I don't have no one out here to help me do it. I've done this before, seems to work alright. I'm going to take the bolts off the hinges here. I'll leave the hinges bolted to the car, and I'm going to lean against the door and kind of hold it, and I'll unlatch the door latch because it'll be holding it for me. Now this should be able to just act like you're opening it but pull it straight out. So let's see how it goes. Alright, before we go on to the other side, we're going to zip these hinges off here and get these just out of the way since I'm on the side. Alright, got the hinges off, let's go over there. Alright, let's see if I can screw this side up, hope I don't drop this one. Alright, I didn't manage to drop that door. I figured I would, but hey, you never know when you're out here working by yourself. So let's get these hinges off. Alright, I about forgot to take these off, so let's get these off. They're in there pretty easy. Usually these things are a pain to get out, but I got new screws in and stuff, so where I was locking everything up. Let's go do the other side. Just like that. Alright, well I'm back, it's another day. I'm just slowly chipping away at this thing as I go and just get a little piece done as I can. I got the door hinges here, I'll sandblast it, went ahead and sprayed epoxy primer on them and got them all nice and sealed up, got the rust off of them, so they should be ready to go on here in a little bit, but we'll do that in a little bit. And for right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start wiping all this down here, some wax and grease remover, because I've been touching it, working on it and stuff, so I'm sure there's some greasy fingerprints and stuff, and we'll get it clean for our sand, so let's do that. Alright, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper. I got some 320 grit. Got this Scotch-Brite pad here. And right here behind where the hinges are going to go, I'm going to bolt them on before I paint all this, because then that way I know it's exactly where it should go. And then you're painting over your bolt heads and everything. It makes it look nice and clean. And then you're not trying to, you tighten a bolt up on like a painted surface like this. It usually just messes up the paint and stuff. But this way here makes it look a whole lot better. Makes it look more, it's better than what the factory did, but it makes it look more kind of factory-ish, what I think. But so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sand behind here a little bit, and then that way, so when I bolt the hinges on, they'll have something to, where the paint does need to go, like in this area, it'll actually stick. So let's get doing that now. Well, finally, after all that scuffing up and sanding, that stuff just takes a while. But while I was scuffing all this up, I found a small dent here. I think I'm going to fix. I almost thought about letting it go, but doing all this work, would much rather, might as well fix it right. So it's right here. You can see it here. It's right in this area right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I don't know what's happened there. But I'm going to tap it in right here a little bit. I grind it out a little, put a little putty right there, and I'll have to do a spot priming, but I might find some more as I'm sanding, but we'll go and get this one going and go from there. Alright, let's mix up a little bit of putty. We'll put in that thing, and then we'll probably go ahead and bolt the hinges on. Try not to drip this stuff everywhere as I'm putting it on there, but if I do, I'll just have to wipe. Try to make sure it's pressed in there good. Alright, got the hinge here. Let's get this thing bolted on then. Cleaned up the bolt heads and stuff, sandblasted them some, so paint should stick good to them. Okay, now that those are on there, I guess my next step now would be to, I don't know, I guess we'll have to sand that putty over there, start sanding the jambs, just stuff like that. So, tell you, let's just go over there, sand that putty, and then I'll start just sanding these jambs slowly. So it's going to be a slow process, and, but we'll eventually get there. But it's a pretty small area. It ain't like it's nothing like the whole outside of the car. And it don't have to be perfect either. But, hey, let's go over there. Alright, got me some 80 grit here on a block. Probably do a half block, half hand sanding, but try to sand this here. Probably didn't make it harder myself to put this on here, but I don't think it'd be that bad. So let's see. Alright, now let's just get sanding this thing and get moving right along on it. Alright, I found a couple spots here that need some attention, as you can see right there. And I got one over here on the other side. And this here, it's kind of hard to see, but it looks kind of choppy there. I got a spot right about there that is just terrible looking. Then I got some down through here, some grinding marks where I replaced this rocker. So let me get some primer on that. We'll go from there. Well, after re-priming all that stuff, I went ahead and just sanded all the door jambs, as you see here. Same thing on the other side. Figure y'all didn't want to watch that. It's pretty boring sanding stuff. So got that done, cleaned it off real good. I went ahead and seam sealed here. As you can see, that yellowish looking stuff there, it's seam sealer. Put it there where the quarter meets the door jamb, where I had replaced some things in the past. And I had to do the same thing up here, and same thing on the other side also. So I guess it's time now. We'll start masking this thing off, and we'll put some paint on it. Okay, got it all masked off now. So you can see here, just around the edges and everything like that. And same thing on the other side. Then again over here. Alright, so let's get this thing wiped down and we'll start shooting some paint on it. Okay, now that I got it all wiped down and everything now it's time. I'm going to tack it off with a tack rag. You just lightly rub it on there, it gets all the fine dust off of it. And so let's get doing that, and then we're going to move on to spraying some urethane sealer on it to let that flash for a while, and we'll spray the color, then the clear. So let's get to it. Alright, so finally after forever this car, we've been working on it, it's setting forever. We're going to start putting some paint on it finally, so let's get to it. Let's get some color here. I got it already mixed up. I'm trying this new Urchem base coat out. Haven't tried it yet. Figure, let's give it a shot on this job. It's a little bit cheaper than some of the other brands I've been using, and if I like it, I might end up staying with it because they seem like they have a pretty good product line. What I've been researching, I'll show you the color here. It's aqua blue metallic. It's kind of hard to tell there on the lid, but let's get some sprayed on the car and see what it looks like. Okay, here's the first coat on there. Looking pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with the paint so far, but we'll just have to see how well it does the rest of the way. But cover's really good for what you mix it at. It mixes at 2 to 1, and usually some colors don't cover too well, but this one does. So let's spray this second coat on. Okay, well there you go. We got the second coat on there. I put a little bit extra coat there right in the door jamb where you see it, but I only put 2 coats in the other areas where you're not going to see it as much because it covers really good, this paint does. And I don't want to use a whole lot more than I have to because I'm trying to, make it go as far as I can. But now it's ready to put some clear coat on it. We're going to put 2 coats on it and call it done. So let's get doing that. Okay, got that first coat on there. Let's put the second coat, and I'm going to be done with this part of the door jambs, and then I can move on to something else finally. So let's get that done. Alright, well there you go. Got the last coat clear on it. Looks pretty good for being a door jamb. I'm pretty impressed with this Eurochem paint. Seems just as good as any of the name brands I've used in the past. And it's a third of the price. So pretty sure I'll be using the rest of, more of it on the rest of this car. And like I said, the door jambs part here on the car is done. And I want to move on to the actual door part of the door jamb next. So let's see how that goes. Well, it's the next day. Got the car masked here behind me. It's looking pretty good. Finally got some color going on it. Now I got these doors here that I'm going to have to paint. Got the left and right side here already stripped down, like the door latches, stuff out of them I was using to mock up. Already wiped them down with some wax and grease remover. Now I need to do some sanding, a little bit of seam sealing, and then to move on and clean them off, masking them off, and then painting them. So let's get to it. Okay, as you can see, I got the doors all sanded here. Got both of them all ready to go, ready to mask off. Same over here, and got all the seam sewing done here at the bottom on them, so let's get masking them off. Okay, got them all masked off here, as you can see, ready to go. So that door's done. Same with this door here. Alright, I'm going to get wiping these things down, some wax and grease remover, then we're going to move on to tack them off, and then we'll start shooting some sealer on them, base coat and clear, so let's go. As you can see, I got the sealer put on there, looking pretty good. Didn't have no mishaps with it, no runs there, nothing I can see. Got both doors sealed here, so let's start spraying some color on these things and see how they look. Okay, got the first coat of base coat on there. Looking pretty good. It's drying right now. I'm going to wait about 15-20 minutes and we're going to put another coat on. I'm only going to put 2 coats on these because it's the door jambs, and this paint cover is really good. And so by that's all we're going to do, and then we'll have to move on to clear coating. So let's get doing that after this flashes. Okay, now I got the base coat on there, got the final coat on there, and it's flashed now about an hour. Plenty time now to clear coat it. So let's get some clear coat on these things and see how they turn out. They've been flashed now for a little over a half hour, and clear's looking pretty good now. Let's get a second coat of clear on these and be done with them. Well, there it is. I got the second coat of clear on there. I'm done with them. Looks pretty good. So I got a few small runs in some areas, but it's a door jamb. Some of them you can leave, and some of them we'll just have to wet sand out later on. But it's nothing that isn't the end of the world. Here's the other one here. Looks pretty good to me. Good enough for a door jamb. So yeah, I'm glad that part's done. So now we'll have to move on to something else next. Well, now that these are done here, I think it's going to wrap it up for this episode. Glad that the door jamb part's finally out of the way. Now I can move on to something else, maybe under the trunk, maybe under the hood. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do next. But stay tuned because we'll just have to see what I get into. So thanks for watching.